Hi there every person, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and also notice bell if you love to watch even more disloyalty stories. Wish to discover how to return your ex? Inspect the web link in the summary box to learn just how. I just finished my partnership of 15 years since I learned that he knowingly had at least 2, possibly 3 kids deliberately with other women throughout our connection. I'm 40 years of age, as female. I've been with him for 15 years. We have a 14-year-old. I recognized of the dishonesty, as well as I tried to survive it and forgive him. The cycle went around and also around where I would certainly forgive as well as we'd recover as well as get better or two, I thought. And afterwards he'd repeat the cycle throughout again unexpectedly. His pattern seemed to be every 3 years he would cheat. I loved him so deeply and so badly wanted our marriage to work that I just kept burying the hurt and feelings of torment and distress as deep within myself as possible to try to keep going. I never told a soul about the cheating because I was so embarrassed. No one in my life has any idea what the last 15 years have really been like. Aside from the cheating, he's verbally abusive, mentally abusive and also physically abusive. But it wasn't always that way. There are times when he can be nice and loving and kind, and those are the times that make me able to bury all the other stuff. I see that there is good in him, but it's hidden under so many layers of fucked up. Anyway, I recently found out that the last girl he cheated with, she was only 19. It was 4 years ago. Her and I spoke when we both discovered the other person, and she told me she wouldn't be having any more to do with him, and I told her that I needed time to figure out what I would do. Well, it turns out that she lied. She slept with him at least once or twice more a couple months after we both found out. At that point I was back with him and he promised he wouldn't do it again. Said he didn't want anything to do with her, all the usual cheater lies. I told him he needed to get a vasectomy because I needed to go off the pill. At this point we had both discussed not having any more kids and he agreed to the vasectomy. So a week before the vasectomy appointment is scheduled, that's when he went back and slept with her. He purposely impregnated her, a 19-year-old. Then he left her. He did it on purpose with the intent to never be with her again. Fast forward to a few weeks ago, she contacted me and told me this. I had no idea that he had ever gone back to her and cheated with her again after we had reconciled. All this time he has known that he has another kid out there, and he never told anyone. And she also never told me until now. I feel so betrayed by the both of them. I've been living my life for the last 3 years with no idea about this baby. But it gets worse. She worked where he worked back then during the cheating and after he got her pregnant. He quit that job shortly after he got her pregnant, and apparently 3 of his friends who also worked there, all people who knew me, found out that he was the one who got her pregnant. One of them told her that there was another girl he did this to as well. I don't know if the other girl had the baby or not or how to find her. She only knew the first name. And frankly, I don't really want to know. I'm so sick to my stomach when I think about it. So for the last few weeks I've been pretending I didn't know anything in order to figure out how to get everything situated. I told him I knew last week and that I needed him to leave. When I told him, he kind of tried to deny it, but he barely even made an effort to. It was obvious that he was caught. Anyway, fast forward to right now, he raped me one last time before he handed me the house key and just left. It's 37 degrees outside with snow predicted for today, and he left on a motorcycle with a huge distance ahead of him because he has nowhere to go except for his family in another state 5 states away, because that's all he has right now, no car. I don't know if I should be feeling worried for him or if I should be celebrating that he's gone. I'm feeling very conflicted. I don't want him to die or get hurt. I care for him in this deep way even after everything he's done to me. It's so hard to put my feelings into words because I can't explain the pull he has, like I cannot disconnect from him. I want to disconnect from him so bad, but I don't know how. Here are some of the best comments from our community. He sounds like one of the worst men I've read about. I would be celebrating. Pop open some champagne. Don't take that thing back. He is all bad energy. But you will benefit from intensive counseling to process trauma. Wow. He sounds like the worst human being I've ever read about. Do not let him back into your life. He's an abusive loser. Please seek out a therapist that can help you process all of the trauma he has put you through. He's caused you a lot of traumas. It will take a while to heal, but you will heal. What advice will you give your child in a few years if they end up in the same situation? Your child will find out eventually. The truth always comes out at some point, especially with now having siblings. Kids mimic the relationships they see. That's why it's so hard to break the cycle of abuse from one generation to the next. Get to a local Codependents Anonymous meeting for some support. Monday, I started looking for a family law/divorce attorney. File for divorce and child support as soon as possible. At some point, one of his other baby mamas may file for child support. You should file before they do. One more dishonesty tale. Really feeling troubled and also just required to vent. This is as long and jumbled, yet I just need to get this all out somewhere. I, late 20s F, have been married to H, very early 30s M, for 8 years currently. We have several children. A year ago H was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition. We currently knew, it simply took a while for the actual diagnosis. It was affecting him pretty severely at the time, and also he began spiraling mentally. A month after his medical diagnosis we determined to have our last baby. I got expecting immediately. As soon as he figured out I was pregnant he altered significantly. We went from a truly affectionate/loving couple to him hardly talking with me, much less touching me. I kept trying to review what was happening, however he declined to speak about it and declared he had not altered. After a few months I started finding money missing. Currently, for importance, he has a background of a little betting dependency. I constantly caught on before he had lost too much money, yet we made a boundary that all gaming was to stop as well as never ever happen again because he had no control and was lying about it. Anyway, I found out he had been gambling again for a couple months. Just a couple dollars at first that had escalated to hundreds in a month. He came completely clean and put some safeguards in place to make sure that didn't happen again. I thought that was the end of it. We went on a trip with our kids pretty soon after that and he was treating me more like he used to, but I could tell he was completely faking being attracted to me. I once again brought up how he had changed and told him it's fine if you're not into me right now, I'd just like to know. He admits he's just not attracted to my body right now and feels completely disconnected from me. It hurts, but we move on. Not even a week later a weird text pops up on his phone. I find out he's been talking to another woman all day every day for a few weeks. He swears it's all innocent, but they were very emotional conversations about our life and her life. In my mind it was an emotional affair at best. He blocked her number and, once again, I tried to move on. A couple weeks later he tells me he misses the attention he was getting from her and would like to have that again with someone else. I'm completely wrecked at this point, but I was stuck where I was at the time and said whatever, do what you want, but this is killing me. He decides he won't talk to anyone else and expects me to drop it like that conversation never happened. Baby comes. He switches back to how he used to be with me. He's so sweet, so kind, super touchy and loving, the greatest help. Truly giving 100% of himself everywhere he can and being remorseful for how shitty he was during my pregnancy. Problem is, I'm not over it. It's hit me differently now with all the crazy hormones. It's driving me crazy. And every time I think I'm almost over it, something small happens that triggers me and I'm right back to feeling insecure and jealous. I always tell him, hey, this thing, like him spending a good while on the phone with a female coworker that I know isn't out to be with him, but it triggered me nonetheless, has made me feel insecure, can we talk about it? Should be fine, but it's not. I'll explain how I feel and it seems like he will go out of his way to do that same thing again a few days later. I know it's innocent, but I told you it's hurting me and you go do it again immediately? I don't know. We're working on things. I just needed to get that out. I'm pissed and hurt, but I'm trying to let it go. I just really needed to say it somewhere since I can't tell anyone in real life. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell.